What's happening, beautiful people, and welcome back here, day 4 of the first week in the Get Moving 4-Week Challenge. The focus for today is going to be one more round of fundamental breath, this time with a bit of an adjustment. We're going to show some love to your quads, inner and outer thighs with the foam roller. From there, we'll transition into some dynamic mobility, some fundamental strength, and then we'll finish with a restorative pose today. So in addition to your trusty foam roller, all we're going to need for today is a broomstick. And we can put them off to the side for now because we're going to kick it off with our breath as always. So the idea for today is going to be to integrate that stance that we worked on yesterday with alignment in the pelvic tilt, awareness of the pelvic tilt and alignment, neutral alignment. We're going to look for the two extremes today as we work through the breath, and then we'll go ahead and put it all into play in later patterns. So we're going to assume that neutral stance here. So soft bend to the hips and knees, feet are going to be hip width apart, toes forward. We're going to take an inhale and we're going to arch, put a nice arch in the spine here and stick the belly out and the hips back as we fill the belly up with breath. So inhale and tilt the pelvis to create this nice arch in the spine, and then exhale, tuck the tail, draw the belly button in toward the spine and really contract. So here are the two end ranges of the pelvis. Inhale, and then exhale. Beautiful. Let's get 5 more just like that. Inhale, fill up and expand the belly, exaggerate the arch in the lower back. Exhale, tuck the tail all the way through, really squeeze your butt and your hamstrings here as much as you can. Squeeze the floor with your feet. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, arch. Exhale, tuck the tail and compress. Inhale, fill the belly up with air as much as you can. Exhale and tuck the tail. Let's get 2 more quality reps here. Inhale, exhale. 1 more. In and out. Beautiful. Not too shabby here. And now we'll go ahead and stand tall in a normal position and just kind of let your pelvis settle where it wants to. But at least for today, we have an awareness of those two extremes, and we'll start to develop an awareness as to where we fall within those two extremes and adjust if we need to. So from there, let's go ahead and get right into the foam roller. This is our second to last foam rolling session. And today we're gonna work on the quads a little bit. So I'm gonna start off with 1 quad at a time. And again, I'm going to place the foam roller closer to the knee, to the bottom of the quad. And I'm just going to start working in small increments up and down the top of my thigh. Scanning and just seeing, where am I holding extra tension? Where is it a bit tight? I can spin my foot out and begin to work into the adductors, into the inner thighs here a little bit. Working the full range here, full scope. Using my hands here and my opposite leg for as much support as I need. Whoops, I think I just kicked my trusty stick. And then from there, I can begin to rotate or shift over to the outer thigh here. Working that full sweep of the outer thigh. Getting into the TFL. And then working into closer to the top of the hip flexors here. Working into the top of the quad. So just doing best to touch base with the entire surface area of my quad. And I'm feeling quite a bit of tension in mine today, so I'm definitely taking an opportunity to work the kinks out. Nice. And then we'll go ahead and switch sides. I'm gonna turn around here so you can get a better visual. But again, I'm gonna set it up here so that I'm starting closer to the knee. And I can turn the foot out and position myself so my inner thigh is getting some love. I'm actually opening up my hip here. And then we'll go ahead and work the top, center, working the full sweep. And then I can just rotate here, shift a little bit onto the foam roller so the outer thigh is also getting some work. And then really getting close to the top. Excellent. Oh, wait, also, just open up the hips. Nice. Not too shabby. We can put the foam roller off to the side and work a couple of dynamic mobility patterns here. So let's get as wide of a stance as we can here, toes forward. From there, we're gonna hinge at the hips and reach down toward the floor with the left hand and then up toward the ceiling with the right hand. And let's see if we can get the eyes to follow that upward hand here. And then from there, all we're gonna do is switch. Pause here for a beat. Think about pushing into the ground with that down hand and then eyes up here. Let's get a total of 10. This is 3, 4, exhaling into the twist. 5, trying to maintain as neutral of a spine as possible, so not allowing excessive rounding in the spine. And if you need to put a pad or a yoga block or anything here to bring the floor to you, that is a perfectly valid and acceptable regression. So if you have your yoga block handy or even a stack of books or a pad, anything that will bring the ground to you will work here. And I believe I've lost count, but we're gonna work one more on each side, using the ground for leverage here to really reach almost behind me and get maximum rotation through the spine. Beautiful, good, good, good. We can rock left and right here if that feels good. And then from there, let's go ahead and work from a half kneeling position, but I'm going to open the hip up here. And the idea here, we're gonna work this in a dynamic fashion. So I'm gonna reach with both hands in the direction that my left toe is pointing here. And then I'm gonna stack the shoulders back over the hips and reach up to the sky. Let's get 10 of these. We'll call this one 2. 3, smooth reps, working within the range of motion that's available to you right now. 4, leaning forward here, if that's available, trying to get the knee over the toe. 5, 6, 7, 8, working at a slow, controlled tempo here, mindful tempo. 9, little pauses at each end of the pattern. And 10. Nice, not too shabby. We can roll the shoulders here a little bit, a couple of up and unders, and then we'll switch sides. So here my left leg is down, my left knee is down. I'm gonna open up here on the right side. I'm gonna start to shift the weight forward here, and then we're gonna reach toward the right as far as I can get. Leaning, knee over the toe, and then reach big overhead. Let's get it. 2, 3. Nice stretch here for the hip flexors, the groin. 4, working on that ankle mobility, that hip mobility. 5, get that overhead reach component, alignment of the shoulders and the hips. 6, 7, 3 more here under control. 8, 9, and 10. Beautiful, good, good, good. Not too shabby. Let's go ahead and pop on up here. We can shake the legs loose if that feels good, roll the shoulders. And then from there, we're gonna transition into one of the most fundamental exercises, period, lower body specifically, and that is a stationary lunge or a split squat. Now the idea is to set up here in this half kneeling position, right, with both knees at 90 degrees, shoulders stacked right over the hips. Now if this is tough right away, you can put a pillow or a cushion or anything underneath the knee for a little bit of support. But we're gonna put the hands on the hips, back toes are tucked, And we're gonna push the body tall on a forced exhale. Pause here for a beat. Inhale, hover that backside knee, and then push the body tall. Nice and smooth, let's get 12 on each side. 3, really contracting this backside thigh here at the top. 4, pushing through the middle of this front side foot. This front side leg is my driver, and this backside leg is my stability, really engaging the glute and the thigh here at the top. Let's get 6 more here. 6, 5, 4, good, control. 3, try and hover this knee for just a beat. 2, and 1, marvelous. Not too shabby at all. We can shake the legs here, and then we're gonna transition into the opposite side. Again, if this range of motion is excessive, you can bring the floor to you as always by adding a block or a pad or a pillow. And if working with just your body weight as it is tough, we can always grab the support of a broomstick, a chair, a piece of furniture, the wall, whatever you need to offer you support here, depending on where you're at. So let's push tall here. Strong with it. We got shoulders stacked right over the hips. We'll take our breath in, hover the knee, and then push the body tall. Nice and smooth. Keeping those legs in line with the hips. 3, 4, 5. Grounded through the entire bottom of this foot. 7, 8. Pushing the ground away from you with the ball of that back foot. Good, 3 more here. 3, really engaging. 2, and 1, beautiful. Good, good, good. Phenomenal exercise. If you can master that exercise, it's gonna have profound impact on your strength, on your longevity, on all of the above, not just in the gym, but in anything you do. So from there, let's go ahead and work with our broomstick, and we're gonna set up here from the floor. And the reason that we're gonna set this overhead press up from the floor today is to begin to drive the point home that everything starts from the ground up. So what we're looking for here is good engagement from the ground up. So flexing the toes back toward my face, really engaging my thighs, trying to squash a bug underneath the back of my knee, and then letting that spring into really nice tall posture. I'm gonna work a grip just outside of shoulder width on my broomstick here and bring it in line with the collarbone. And now from this position, all I'm gonna do is push up overhead on a forced exhale and then come right back home with control. Maintaining all of those key points that we discussed. The engagement, dorsiflexing those toes, those feet with the toes back up toward me, engaging my lower body a lot, thinking about my posture here, and then pushing up and almost back a bit so that the biceps frame the ears. And we'll get another 10 from here. Let's work. 1, 2, 3. Nice and smooth. 4, 5. 5 more. 5, 4. Smooth. 3. Pausing at each interval. 2. And 1. Marvelous, marvelous, marvelous. Not too shabby at all. Excellent way to introduce overhead patterns and get people to engage from the ground up, which is really where everything starts. From there, let's work into a forearm plank. So we got a couple of variations. The first one is going to be from the balls of the feet, setting up with your feet hip width apart, stacking the shoulders over the elbows up here, eyes in between the hands, and you want to align the hips with the shoulders. So if you notice your hips are doing anything wonky, lock them in line with your shoulders. Now, if at any point this becomes tough, you can drop to the knees, and as long as the hips are in line with those shoulders, we're engaged in the glutes, engaged in the midsection, and breathing properly, that's also an acceptable variation. Let's check out the clock here, and let's hold this bad boy for a minute. Regulating the air in and out to maintain maximum core engagement and the integrity of our alignment. Driving the elbows into the ground, so we're not allowing any dumping into the scap. Drive those elbows into the ground and push up out of the scap. Engaging the thighs a lot. And really mindful to keep the hips in line. If you feel any budging, any hiking, level them back out. And let's work here for another 30 seconds. Should be working up a pretty good sweat by now. I know I am. This feels great. No better way to start the day. No better way to end the day. It's always a good time for a nice quality session. Let's go for another 7, 6, 5. Fire it up here. 4, 3, 2, and time. Smooth, smooth, smooth. Very, very nice, beautiful people. Let's do one more pose here, one more restorative pose. We can come down to the knees, let the knees go wide, the feet together, and we're just gonna enter in what's called the child's pose. So we're gonna reach forward and kind of just let the torso melt right along the floor here. And just rest the forehead. If you want to put a towel or a mat down. Reaching forward, just decompressing that spine. And we'll take a few deep breaths here in this restorative pose. Actively push the hips back toward the heels to feel a nice stretch in the lats. And then if it's available, you can begin to creep both of your hands all the way over to the right. You'll feel a nice stretch in that left side lat. Take a couple of breaths here. And then we can begin to work the fingers and the hands and the arms back through neutral. And we'll work over to the left. You can actively pull the body and really shift and lean in that direction. You'll feel a nice stretch all along the right side body. Exhaling into deeper ranges of motion. Marvelous. And then we can begin to work our way back to that neutral position and work our way to the palms and up to standing here. Not too shabby, guys. Just about got the first week in the bag here. Excellent work today. As always, please remember to eat right, hydrate, get some sunlight, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow for day 5.